Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and tonight I am thrilled to have Debbie Jones with me. Hey, Debbie.
Hey, Laurie, how are you?
I'm good. Let me tell you, I'll give you some of the statistics about Debbie, and then we're going to tell you how we really met. But she is a professional certified coach. And she's also, let's see, can I be my own, a transition coach. She is a core dynamics coach. She's been doing computer analysis. I'm sorry, software analysis, even more confusing. uh, I don't know what you say, like 30 years, Debbie, long.
Over 35 years, yeah.
35, yeah, yeah. But what we wanted to talk about tonight, Debbie and I got thrown into one of those darn breakout sessions. I hate those things. It's like I didn't come to hear myself talk. I want to hear you talk. But luckily we did. And I don't know what one of us confessed to the other because I've been having this dilemma. I'm going to say at least since 2024. But and it was like, we're supposed to be talking about goals and where we want to go and how high do we want to go. And we both said to each other, like, I really don't want to do that anymore. And it's like, what? You don't want to? I don't either. And a kindredship was born.
Absolutely, yeah.
I said, well, let's go tell some people about this problem. And bless her heart, she said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight. It's my dilemma, and Debbie can tell you hers. My dilemma is I want to slow down. Can I slow down? And do I have to feel guilty when I do it? What is your dilemma, Debbie?
I think very much the same. That resonates deeply with me, Laurie. My dilemma is not feeling guilty about slowing down and having to constantly tell myself, I keep playing this narrative of what's next, what's next, what's next. And at 65, there doesn't have to be a next. What's next is whatever I want. But to say that, to know that here and feel that in my heart is that's where the problem is for me, syncing the two up.
Yeah, I've got the same problem, and I'm wondering why that is. I mean, you obviously have been successful in your career, and I've been successful in mine, and we know how to get to the next step, but we know how to do
Mhm.
the next thing to get us there. So, what do you do when you don't want to climb anymore? And that's the problem. I guess the block is the guilt, but I think first we have to get it clear in our heads. It's like, what are we really talking about? We came up, I don't know why we came up with some marvelous titles about how to talk about this. And
Yeah.
Debbie came up with, let me see if I can remember, no alarms and no guilt, just pajamas and coffee. And it was, yes.
Sounds good, right?
That's what I want. Now, how do we get there? And also because she's doing leadership and transition and stuff, and I know you're in the corporate world, not slightly in the corporate world with the um software stuff. It's like, how do we get our clients there? Because it's like when your client is going, we know how to get them. I think I do. We know how to get them to the next goal, the next step. How do you do that?
Right.
How do we what can we tell our clients? What can we tell ourselves? Because coaching is definitely self-coaching. What can we tell ourselves to make this transition smoother? Because I'm bumping along going, yeah, no, yeah, no. It's like
Yeah. You
roller
know,
coaster.
it's funny you say that because, again, it resonates with me. You said, what can we tell our clients? It's easy to tell a client something, but you feel a bit inauthentic when you know in your heart you're fighting the battle as well. I have a coach that told me right there in New York City, where you are, Debbie, stop it. She says to me, it's time for you to meet your moments. And that's what I have to tell myself. And when I tell myself that, I have a very, very big smile. It's time. She's like, this is what you've worked your whole life for. And so for me, Laurie, I think what helps me or what will help me is continuing to look at the perspective of I've done all the things, I've checked all the boxes. This is time for me to meet my moments. And so daily, I'm trying to just embrace that mindset and give myself permission to relax a bit in trying to come up with what's next. Even give myself permission to not have a what's next, if that's possible.
Wow. That's very fluid and spontaneous. I love that. Yeah, have not have a what's next. Yeah, I think you and I were both in Cheryl Richardson did a seminar on kind of the wisdom and aging years and all that jazz that we both sort of fell into. And she said something that really stuck with me. She said, I'm tired of making shit happen. I want to sit around and enjoy the shit that I have made happen.
Mhm,
And I went,
mhm.
oh, okay, when do we get to do that? If not now, when? And that's kind of where we started from. I think I know I've been doing transition and reinvention coaching for a long time now. And I always tell my clients, well, okay, a lot of, I went through the 2008 financial bust and then we went through COVID.
Mhm.
It's like, well, okay, what do you do when suddenly your parameters are gone? You don't have somebody telling you what to do. You're the CEO of your life, and it's like, whoa, how do I do that?
Wow.
And I think that's kind of some of the questions we have to ask ourselves. What do you think are some of the burning questions that we should be asking ourselves and extending to our clients if indeed they have the same problem?
Well, when they get to this point on their journey, I think one burning question would be, what are some of the things that you've always wanted to do that work has stopped you from doing?
Wow.
Again, this is around shifting perspective. Also, what do you call, how do you define productivity? I think in my head, defining productivity has been tied to my job. But if you, going back to that Cheryl Richardson seminar you were just speaking of, which was so good, um, productivity doesn't have to be, there's a lot of work right under my roof that needs to be done. She kind of talked about if anything happens to you, would someone know how to walk into your home and just take care of your affairs? I have so much work, quote unquote, work to do. It's just a different type of work. So how do I define being productive? I think it's another really good question I would share with a
Oh,
client.
I like that. Yeah. How do you find productive and when when do you get to define it? I think I have a checklist. And if I go through the checklist, I'm a happy girl. It's like, yeah, I got it all done. Um, but when do you define what's productive and what isn't? The day was just crazy. I spent so much time on the phone fixing other people. No, my problem that other people messed up. It's like, is that a productive use of my time? Yes, it was. But did it make me happy? No, it did not. So I think we have to combine productivity and passion, maybe productivity and passion. What are you passionate about?
Yeah, I agree with you. And now, when you made that statement too, Lori, about you did a lot of things that didn't necessarily make you feel a certain way, I think what came to mind when you said that was a reward system as well. In corporate, the reward is you get a promotion, you get a raise. So I think another really good question for me to ask myself and have my clients ask themselves is, what does rewarding now look like for you in this new role of CEO in your life? How does your reward system look?
Wow, Debbie, that is brilliant. Yeah, I love that. And because I've been sort of thinking along the other lines. It's like, okay, your punishment is you don't get to do this, you don't get to do that. But it's like, what do you get to do? What do you get to do that you did, like you said, that you didn't get to do? And I know when I'm helping people with transitions and reinvention, I go back to what you said. It's like, what you always want to do as a child. And
Mhm.
it may be something like, oh, I wanted to be in a beauty pageant. Okay, and you're 75 and you're not going to be in a beauty pageant, but you could create scenery. You could be a sponsor for, how can you modify that dream if indeed it's totally impossible to do it now?
Mhm.
Um, a little thinking out of the box, I think, might get us where we're going there.
I agree with that. Yeah. Another thing, I think as coaches, we love supporting others. And so there's huge opportunity. I mean, 40 years as a software analyst, mentoring other young women coming along. And when I say young, I mean younger than me. That could be teenagers, that could be 20s, that could be 30s, on up to 60s. Lots of opportunities to save someone from the mistakes that I made. Just trying to think holographically. That's another question is how can I leverage my experience in life to help the next generation or earlier than that even?
I love that because I always said as soon as I discovered coaching, and it was way, way back, and I didn't discover it, but I had discovered it personally for me. It was like, damn, I wish I'd had one of these coaches when I was trying to figure out my major in college. Where I wanted to live, all kinds of stuff. And it's like, so to share that experience, it, where age becomes an asset as opposed to because
Right.
everybody thinks, yeah, right, I'm retiring, I'm old, I'm washed up, nobody wants me. Let your age be your asset. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm retiring. I'm old. That almost sounds like a license to say whatever you want to whoever you want to,
Yeah,
and get away with it.
it's a good
But
excuse.
not
Yeah.
really. But I can use my voice in a very supportive, encouraging way, just for the years of experience.
Yeah, yeah. And we were talking about I can't believe this one little breakout room. I think it was like 3 minutes. And Debbie and I have had massive conversations. But we were talking about filling spaces, filling needs, filling based it on our experience. What do we need coming up and now? And how do you fill that need? And how can you maybe fill your need and yet be productive in the same time? It's like, okay, I'm doing this and I can share it with somebody else. So there's a whole bunch of you're right, it's perspective, which is very important, and a little reframing, if we can use a coaching term, and a little positivity for sure. We definitely need that. But
Yeah.
what do you think your biggest dilemma is? Or what's your biggest challenge right now?
You know, I, because of the climate that's in the world right now, and money is so elusive. And growing up, one of 11 kids. And so I came from a scarcity mindset. I think the challenge is making the shift that I will be taken care of. I know this. I've never gone without food. I've never gone without anything that I really needed. But I think it's a challenge to, if the challenge is what happens, it's the what if. If I quit, what if? What if we need a new roof? What if we need this? What if one of us gets, it's the what ifing that goes on, Laurie, is the biggest challenge for me. And that's it's a direct, what's the word I'm looking for? Offshoot or whatever from living and growing up in a space of scarcity.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we did not, no silver spoons in my family. Thank you very much. And that's okay because I feel that as a result, I learned how to take care of myself. And, I like you, it's like I know how to make money and I know how to budget and I know how to do without if I have to, and I can do all of that. Um, so that I understand that what if. Um, and I think I guess if I had a client that was what if, it would be, I'd take them right through the whole thing. What if? What if you didn't have money to pay the rent? What would you do? What if you had to give up a car? What would you do? And go through that. Mine is more of identity. It's like, okay, I want to walk around going, hey, I'm retired? Not really. It's not, and that's me. That's my mindset. It's like nobody said that's a bad word, but I'm thinking it means I'm retired and I'm done. And I think that's the problem. I don't want to be retired and done. I'll love to be retired, and I am semi. But it's like, okay, who will I be, after this? After if I give up this and I give up this, who am I going to be? Who am I? And that's my problem. I think that's my biggest dilemma. It's like, oh, I want to keep my foot here and I want to keep my foot here. But I'm finding that that's exhausting. It spreads you out too much. It's like, wait, I need closer feet or something. But yeah, so that's my biggest dilemma. And again, I think it's mindset training, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, as you were expressing that, Lori, I was thinking it would be so cool. It would be an interesting experiment because my gut as a coach, my knee-jerk reaction was So who is Laurie? Because the Laurie before retirement and the Laurie after, you're still Laurie, but it would be a neat experiment to write down who you think you are now, and
Mm.
then in the different column, write down who you think you'll be. And then the gap is what we focus on, right? Because you get to pick. It can be anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And what a great exercise. Okay, who you think you are now.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw in the middle of that um, who you want to be. Yeah, who you want to
Yeah.
be. And then who you think you'll be as a result of that.
Yeah.
Uh, now, let me ask you a question. Are we um, defeating our purpose? Already, now we're writing down goals and we're writing down, dude, are we messing with ourselves here or
Well,
what?
see, there you have it right there. No, I don't think it does sound a little work-like, a little taskish.
A little bit, yeah.
But the middle part is the part that I think that opens up a lot for me. That part where you said, who do you want to be? Because then that kind of that acts as fuel for maybe I don't want to be anything. Maybe I want to be retired Debbie. Maybe I want to be the known as Debbie, the person that goes in and holds the babies in the nursery down at the local hospital. So it allows me, I think that who I want to be is a great opportunity to connect back to what you were talking about when you said what you wanted to be when you were little, that you never, life happened and you never had a chance to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe now you can circle back, or clients can circle back and say, you know what, I always wanted to, and you're never learning. What is it we learn in coaching? Always a mentor and a student,
Yes, at the same time, absolutely. Teacher and student,
a
yeah.
teacher and a student. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting because it's just so hard to embrace that new idea. But what is that Facebook thing? Life begins right outside your comfort zone, so you got to step on out and embrace it.
Right there.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, it's like being a coach. It's like, okay, what things can help you get there? And I'm thinking, what resources, what resources do you have? We both can say wisdom, we both can say work experience, we both can say survivorism. I don't know your life story, but I suspect there were rough times as well as great times. But what other resources do we have? That we can go out and find? Who can we find that can help us? What do we need to? And that's where it's like, who do you want to be? That's where you get, what do you need to get there? What do you want's kind of easy. It's like, okay, this is what I want. But
Right.
what do you have? What do you need to get to where you want to be? Um, so resources. What else can you think of?
You know what, when you were talking about resources, who is your new community? Like right now,
Hmm.
my community is more or less my coworkers and my family. That's who I spend all of my time with at work, at home. That's my community. So in giving myself permission to be whoever the next Debbie 2.0 is, I learned this from the Cheryl Richardson seminar that we attended. What I observed on the screen when I was watching her express herself and all of the people, almost 500 people dialed in, is there's community there. And so for me, connecting with community may be a great resource because they've been there, done that. I might can grab some ideas, connect with people who I was feeling the same way as you, but here's what I did. Somebody who's already been there, done that is always a great resource for me, Laurie.
Yeah. Give me a mentor anytime. I'll take it.
Hmm.
I'll
Hmm.
take it. I can see why we're soul sisters, I swear, because I was thinking about this today and it was like, okay, I'm so sick of being on the phone and dealing with everything. And it's like, you know what? I have neglected a couple of friends that I haven't seen in ages. And it was like, I need to really audit and redefine my community. It's like I'm with you. I know coworkers. I got them, and so yeah, I think that's something to be examined. Community passion. What else do we have? Community passion. I always like to ask my client, what are you bringing to the table? It's like what are you bringing? And I know when I was doing mentors, they would do things like, oh, I could never. I want to be a corporate coach, but I could never do that because I don't know anything about it, and but I want to make all the money. And it's like bring yourself to the table. There's only one you. So what are those yous? What are the yous that we're talking about? What do you bring to the table? How can you enhance that, I guess? What can you
Yeah,
learn? Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, what do you bring to the table? And at this journey, at this point on the journey, you bring a whole lot.
Yeah.
But stepping back and really taking inventory, that's a horse of a different color, right? So now what comes up is meditation, allocating time, all the things that I don't do because I'm busy being busy, right? But just sit
Right.
back and start, falling in love with me again.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, you do bring wisdom, you do bring experience, you bring so many things that I don't even think you're aware of. And instead we say, oh, you know what? I used to be able to run them on. No, this is not me, believe me. I used to be able to run them all in 10 minutes. And not even then I couldn't do it. But
Hey,
yeah, and it's like, and yes, there are limitations now as you get older. And you can chalk that up to wisdom, or you can chalk that up to physical abilities, whatever it is. But for that, oh, I know it would be a fun exercise. For every physical, no, for every limitation you think you have to name an asset. It's
I
like,
love
okay, yeah,
that.
I can't run
Yeah.
that mile anymore, but boy, do I know how to deal with economic crisis because I went through a bunch of them. I may be going through one right now. I have no idea where the economy's going at this point,
Right?
but I've got those skills, so I can help you. Yeah. So I think that would be well, okay. We got some good exercises going here. First of all, a list of uh who you are now, who you want to be, and what you want to be, and then who you want to be. And
Mhm.
then for every deficit, and I'm going to use that word thinking, okay, that's the self-criticism, list an asset. So yeah, okay, I'm feeling better.
And I got one more too. I got
All
one
right.
directly tied to working full time. So when I'm working, every other Friday, like tomorrow or day after tomorrow is that Friday, I get a direct deposit. So now figuring out what's my direct deposit symbolically that will bring me, yeah, money brings me joy because it allows me to do the things that are really important to me. But once I'm not being paid by a corporation, what will my direct deposits be?
Wow, give me some examples. That's great.
Yeah, so I think, direct deposits are things that just like money goes into an account and it enables me to be able to do things. So direct deposits for me might be since I get so much out of giving, where do I selectively choose to give and reap the reward? It might be to women who have gone through assaults. It might be through, even doing some pro bono things, but I need to get paid regularly, but I just need a different medium than money.
Wow. Okay, I like that. Yeah, direct deposits. Yeah, I came up with another exercise. People are going to be exhausted when they finish listening to us. But, but I'm thinking, the half empty, half full glass. It's like who and what is depleting my energy, and who and what can, yeah, right, and who and what can fill that glass up, which is your direct deposit, I guess. But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that comes into auditing and refining your community. Um, yeah. So yeah, you've got to put energy in to put energy out.
Then
So
you're right. And it also comes, you said auditing and redefining your community, as well as for me, examining current relationships to see, am I really getting anything out of them? A lot of times it's very one-sided because when you are from your core a person who loves to serve others, sometimes we operate from a space of we are assuming that it's a two-way thing, but we have to step back and look at the reality. And so for me, I think some of that as I go into retirement will be looking at relationships, those that I benefit from and those that are, as you said a minute ago, just a source of depletion.
mhm, mhm. I would think you bring to the table relationship coordination. If you had 11 siblings, no, you had 10 siblings, that's got, I have one, and that's a challenge. So it's like, uh, if you had 10, it's like, whoa, you could be a relationship
Guru,
specialist.
okay? I'm the
Yeah,
guru. 11
exactly.
personalities, 6 boys,
Yeah.
5 girls, and
Oh
all
my,
of them,
my
some are similar
goodness.
and some are very different. You're so right about that.
Yeah. So just things that we take for granted. It's like, I don't know about you, but I've been working since I was like 16. So, that's a lot of years. And that it just on the job experience. Did I go through college? Yes, but I always say that the experience I got was on the job. It was like I got
Mhm,
the degree because I had to. But yeah. So it's things like that, things you wouldn't even think of. Yeah, I got some siblings that are very challenging, or I have kids of my own that are yeah, challenging every day. So
mhm,
so I can bring this to the table, and I'm the thing you've got to remember, if you are at this point and you are questioning um what do I want to do and what's the best thing, you're a survivor. And that's number one. You have made it this far, and go back and say, how did I do this? Because
mhm.
at the time, I'm sure there were many times when you go, oh my God, I can't, I'm not going to make it. And here you are. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like that. I like that. Another thing I was thinking of too is as I redefine who I am, what I am, giving myself permission to do those things that I always was conservative about. I mean, you can't take it to the grave with you, right? So really making a practice, a leaning into, a little splurging a little bit more.
Yes, yes. And I fight that all the time. It's like, oh, but this is so expensive. No, no, or this, I don't have time for this. Yes, you do. Yes.
Yes, you do.
And so, wow, Debi Jones, this went so fast. We've got 1 minute left. How can people get in touch with you or find you?
You can get in touch with me by going directly to my website, since my name is Debbie
Oh,
Jones, www.debbiejoko.com, JOCO.com,
and
or
Debbie,
you
Debbie
can
is DEBI, by the way.
DEBI. So, or you can email me at DEBI at DEBIJOCO, DebbieJoko.com.
Joko. All right, Joko.
And that's short for the Deborah Jones Collective.
Oh, okay. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. All right, we have to have another show because there's just so much I don't know about
I
this woman.
know.
But I am so thrilled that you and I got into stupid breakout room and just went wow and
I
started
am
started
too.
bonding. I love it. I love it.
Lori, thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
Debbie, we got to do it again. This has been fantastic.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's go reinvent ourselves.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.